Welcome to Consumer Insider, your go-to channel for all things tech. In today's video, we're diving into the future with a look at the 5 best laptops of 2024. Number 5. Lenovo Yoga 7i. 16. Our mid-range pick is the Lenovo Yoga 7i 16, 2024, a Windows 2-in-1 convertible. This well-built model has a 16-inch display, giving you plenty of room for split-screen multitasking. You can choose between an FHD Plus or QHD Plus panel. The latter looks sharper and gets brighter to combat glare. Don't worry about the higher resolution draining the battery. Even the QHD Plus model lasts around 12 hours of light use. The keyboard feels great to type on and includes a numpad, which is great for those working with lots of numbers. You also get Wi-Fi 6E, a fingerprint sensor, a facial recognition camera, and Thunderbolt 4 ports. It's available with Intel 13th Gen U and P-series CPUs, which are plenty fast for general productivity tasks. The only complaint is that the webcam image has an unnatural tint, and the microphone picks up some background noise. The Acer Chromebook Spin 714 2024 is another mid-range option worth checking out. It's also a 2-in-1 convertible with stylus support, but it has a smaller 14-inch screen and runs Chrome OS. Its smaller size makes it more portable, but there isn't as much screen real estate. Performance is not a problem with its Intel 12th Gen CPUs, and its battery life is amazing, at over 13 hours of light use. Unfortunately, this model is getting harder to find because there's a newer version. While we haven't tested it, it looks largely the same design-wise. The upgrades include newer and faster Intel 13th Gen CPUs and a 1440p webcam. Number 4. ASUS VivoBook 16 M1605. The best budget laptop we've tested is the ASUS VivoBook 16 M1605 2023. This 16-inch ultra-portable feels well, built for the price, and it isn't overly bulky for a 16-inch device, so it's still easy to carry around. You can configure it with an AMD Ryzen 5 or Ryzen 7 CPU, which are more than adequate to handle productivity tasks like text processing, web browsing, spreadsheets, and video playback. As for the RAM, it has 8 GB soldered onto the motherboard and a SO-DIMM slot. So if you can't find a model with 16 GB, you can always get an 8 GB model and upgrade it yourself. Battery life is okay at around 8 hours of light use, so depending on your workload, you may have to plug it in for a quick charge. This model delivers a pretty good user experience overall. It has a spacious full-size keyboard with a numpad, which is handy for those working with lots of numbers, as well as a large and responsive touchpad. You get Wi-Fi 6E wireless connectivity, a fingerprint sensor for quick logins, and a decent port selection with 3 USB-As, a USB-C, and an HDMI. Unfortunately, the USB-C doesn't support video output, so you'll have to rely on the HDMI to connect an external display. Our main gripe with this laptop is the display. Its 1080p resolution looks reasonably sharp at this screen size. However, it's rather dim, as it only reaches 250 CDM2 of brightness, so visibility may be an issue in well-lit rooms. It also looks a bit washed out due to its narrow color gamut. Number 3. Microsoft Surface Pro 8. The best 2-in-1 tablet we've tested is the Microsoft Surface Pro 8. This versatile tablet form factor makes the Surface Pro one of the best laptops for home use. You can detach the keyboard to make it easier to hold or save space, like on a kitchen counter, and pop it back on when you need to type something out. Its 3:2 display looks sharp, gets bright enough to combat glare, and has a 120 Hz refresh rate to make pen input feel more responsive. Above the display sits an excellent 1080p webcam and a Windows Hello IR camera for quick logins. The keyboard feels good to type on, although you need to buy it separately, and the same goes for the stylus. The battery lasts only around 7 hours of light use, but luckily, the power adapter is fairly compact, and you can also charge via its USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports. As this is a model from 2021, there's already a newer version, the Surface Pro 9. It's essentially the same device. But with faster Intel 12th Gen processors, the Surface Pro 9 is easier to find, but if you don't need the performance increase, you can save a good chunk of cash with the Surface Pro 8, since it's an older device and often on sale. Number 2. Lenovo IdeaPad. Slim 3i Chromebook 14. Our best cheap laptop pick is the Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3i Chromebook 14. This compact model is a great option if you only need a simple device for light productivity tasks like text processing, web browsing, and video playback. The Core i3 configuration, paired with an FHD display, 8 GB of RAM, and 128 GB of storage, is regularly on sale through Lenovo. The cheaper configurations with an Intel N100 or N200 CPU and/or 4 GB of RAM are fine if you have an extremely light workload. Just know that they'll get bogged down quickly when multitasking. As for the display, avoid the 768p TN display and get a model with a 1080p touch-sensitive IPS panel. Not only does it look sharper, but it also has better viewing angles and color reproduction. Unfortunately, the keyboard feels slightly mushy, and the touchpad is small and sometimes unresponsive. Its 1080p webcam is excellent, which is surprising for a budget-friendly Chromebook. The battery lasts around 13 hours of light use and charges over USB-C. Lastly, ensure you can do everything through a Chrome browser or Android app, because Chrome OS is limited in the type of applications you can install. Number 1. Dell Alienware M16R1. The best gaming laptop we've tested is the Dell Alienware M16R1. This 16-inch model provides a fantastic immersive gaming experience. You can configure it with a 480Hz FHD+, a 240Hz QHD+, or a 165Hz QHD+ IPS panel, so you can choose based on your budget and whether you want smoother motion and better responsiveness or a sharper image. You also have 2 keyboard options, one with scissor switches and the other with low-profile, clicky Cherry MX mechanical switches. Although it's quite bulky, it feels incredibly well built, so it isn't the best for on-the-go use. As for the CPU and GPU configuration options, this laptop is available with high performance, AMD Ryzen 7000 CPUs and discrete AMD and NVIDIA GPUs, up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090, memory and storage max out at 64 GB and 8.5 TB respectively, and they're user replaceable. Performance is outstanding, though you'll have to endure loud fan noise. If you play online games, you'd be happy to hear it has Wi-Fi 6E and an Ethernet port. Other ports include 2 USB-As, 2 USB-Cs, an HDMI 2.1, a mini display port, and an SD card reader. You can get this laptop directly from Dell if you have trouble finding it elsewhere. A quick FYI, there's a new model of this laptop, the Dell Alienware M16R2 2024. It has a more compact design and longer battery life. However, Dell has limited the GPU configuration options, as you can only get up to an RTX 4070. Also, there's a single 240 Hz display option, and you can no longer get the low-profile mechanical keyboard.